We are recording.
What number is this, Scott?
That's a good question.
25? Is this 125?
Oh, no, I'll tell you right now. I'm at the YouTube
Everyone
page.
can find out with us.
Yeah. I got to scroll back a little bit. We didn't do one last week. Yes, 125.
See, this is our level of show prep. That's what you get with It's Just Bodybuilding, episode 125. Dusty Hanshaw is in a coma again this week. So it's just Scott McNally and myself, and we're going to hold it down. I've actually only got an hour today, Scott, so it's okay that we're missing Dusty because that's about his contribution to the show that I don't. You know what I mean? Like normally usually, 90 minutes.
Yeah. So you do like your hour, and then we just, that'd be good. That'd be perfect.
Right. Be perfect. And Dusty just doesn't talk.
Yeah.
as I drink Diet Coke out of a coffee mug.
Nice. I just got some. I got some
coffee mug. You like that?
I do. I think that's great, man. I've got the Think Big cup over here.
See, that's awesome. So,
although we don't offer these, but now that people see these cups, they're going to want both of them. Can they get a cup run?
We're working on it.
Okay.
So there's only 3 of these. My business partner, Steven Didoshak, the guy that I helped turn pro a little while ago, he got 3 of these made for the 3 of us.
Okay. And
we're just kind of prototyping them. I feel pretty good drinking out of it.
I like it. I think it works, man. I remember when you introduced me to Steve when I was out there, and he'd been competing for a while. He looked like a pro walking around the gym, and you had said something about him. There was like something he needed. If it was just a little bit more size, maybe.
Yeah, probably back then.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always had like, he's got crazy calves and crazy arms and delts. Like those are kind of his genetic gifts. So in the gym, he's always looked nuts.
Yeah.
Because like guys that have arms and calves and delts, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just walk around in shorts with the calves.
Yeah.
People are like, is that guy a pro? You know,
you get a lot of credit for those calves, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, but no, he brought everything else up. You know, the back came up, the chest came up, you know.
Nice.
You know, he's sort of like, in a way, is a little bit, he's built a little like Lee Priest in a way, you know?
Okay.
Which is like a total compliment because Lee Priest is a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
But is similar sort of like, you know, he's got great arms, really good quad sweep, you know, that sort of stuff, small waist, shorter frame. You know, of course, Lee is like, you know, extreme end of that spectrum because of he's like 5'4", isn't he?
Right. Yeah. He's pretty short.
You know, so yeah, but it's that sort of like physique, you know, so pretty cartoonish.
That's cool. Well, good for him.
You know?
Hey, you were out. Tell me, I want to hear all about it. I've been waiting for this. I saw your story. You shot Mutant on a mission. And in case anybody hadn't seen your stories, you didn't tell us where you were shooting, where these were going to be at. Right.
So, you know, I finally hooked up with Flex Lewis at the Dragon's Lair.
Yes.
And we did an episode there. And man, Flex, what an awesome guy. You know, just like gave his whole day to us.
You're kidding.
You know, like, yeah, you know, and took way longer than he had to take on everything that we did.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have to like he told like 100 stories. And like we got so much footage that we could make an hour-long episode if we wanted. You know, and Dom Cardone was there training with us. What a great guy. I've never met Dom before. I think we realized we haven't actually met.
Yeah.
So that was cool. You know, he's a super nice guy.
We should have him on the program, by the way.
Yeah.
He'd be awesome to have. He's never been on any of our programs before.
No. So that's exactly what I was thinking afterwards. I want to hear, I haven't heard this mercury poisoning story.
I hadn't heard it either. He got mercury poisoning?
Yeah, he had mercury poisoning and it fucked him up for like 3 years. That's why he hasn't competed.
I didn't know that.
And it took him like forever to figure it out.
Huh.
And then once he figured it out, it like, you know, it took forever to get over it.
Yeah.
But it was rough as fuck. But I guess he tells the story and it's pretty amazing. And I've never heard it. So I have to look it up. But I just know like a little bit about it. I heard some stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So fucking crazy. And he was telling me that like it feels like he's growing right now.
Really?
And he's like, I'm so excited because like my body wasn't doing fuck all. Like it wouldn't grow. So it didn't matter what he did, you know?
How old is he
So,
about? What would you guess?
Well, so Flex said he was the youngest pro at the time because he turned pro at 20.
Okay.
And then Cody Montgomery turned pro the year after and was actually a little younger.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it was 2014 he turned pro.
Okay.
So if he was 20 then,
2014. So now it's at
like
6, 7, 8 years
28,
ago.
going on 28.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So in there somewhere.
So he still could do something, is what it comes down
Oh
to.
yeah. No, like, and training's going well, and he's fucking big.
Okay.
You know, heck big. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and just a great gym. Dragon's Lair was cool, man.
Yeah.
Flex has, put the magic touch on there. Obviously, Flex didn't have shallow pockets going in to build it, so he was able to like the bathrooms are super nice and like everything's super nice. It's like uptown Vegas fittings,
Nice.
but it's a hardcore gym.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a nice little place he's got there. So whole day with Flex and talked our ear off. We trained arms.
Okay.
Fucked up his schedule completely just by like he has this like tight schedule that he was like talking about sticking to.
Yeah.
And then like we were there from like 10 to 5:30.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it normally goes like if I show up at your gym at 10, normally we're done shooting the episode by 2:30.
Okay.
2:30 we're wrapping up. You know what I mean? That's with like everything, the workout and everything.
Yeah.
And we showed up at 10 and we left at 5:30. So it just shows you what Flex gave us. He just, and then also Flex is like it's crazy when he's there.
What do you mean?
Everyone's there and everyone wants to talk to him.
Yeah.
Like that gym is like Gold's Venice now.
No kidding.
The people I saw there. Well, so I was there one day from like 10 to 5:30 and I saw Milos come in with Regan and I saw Flex Wheeler come in.
You're kidding.
With that. Yeah. Flex Wheeler with his dog. He's got his dog with him. And he came in with that. What's that guy's Andrew Jacked.
Oh, I don't know.
That big freaky guy that everyone thinks is going to win the Arnold.
Oh, I don't even know, man. I guess I'm behind on things.
Yeah, I got to pull him up.
All right.
Yeah, this dude, Andrew Jacked. Anyways, yeah, so he's fucking big, man. He's a big dude. He's like my height and probably as wide as my frame or wider than me. He just looks real big, man. Anyways, he's doing the Arnold Amateur and he looks good.
Oh, no kidding, man.
Like he's a big beast, right?
Yeah, I see this. Is this him? This is a rear lat spread, freaking wide as a house.
Yeah, well, there's much better photos of him. There's a video just down below that one row below that. There's a video in the middle.
You know what I could do here? Let me
carousel.
see. I'm gonna go to. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go.
Pull
to
the one in the orange shorts. The one in the orange shorts in the middle. Click that, and now you might have to. Just let this play. Like he's big.
Hell
so
yeah.
Just giving it.
How tall is he? Would you guess?
He's like at least as tall as me. So he's like 6'1", I'd say. So he's a big dude.
He's got some legs on him for a tall guy too, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was in there. Flex Wheeler was just kind of watching him train, like Flex Wheeler was training him, but he wasn't like screaming at him or anything, but he was like, spotting him and stuff.
Small waist.
And he was training legs. He was in there moving some big weights on the leg press when I was there. And then, Seth Shaw was there. Big slank.
Okay.
Yeah, Seth Shaw was there. So I fucking didn't get to talk to him. I waved at him on the treadmill. And then I went to go talk to him later and I couldn't find him. So I don't know if like he took off or if he was in the posing room.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, so just saw a bunch of people there,
It's cool. Is the video out yet? Do you guys already?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, it'll have to be in the queue because we have like 2 other episodes already shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We got to air, right? So it'll come out in like a few months.
Okay.
And then the next day we went to Powerhouse and saw Hidetada and Iris Kyle.
Oh, no kidding. Huh.
Yeah. so that was great because Hidetada and I have always gotten along really well.
Yeah.
And his English has gotten so much better, man.
Oh, I
like,
bet. He's been
like
here a long
completely,
time.
Yeah, like he's completely like fluent. You know, it's like 100%.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first spoke to him, like back in like 2007 or something, he like didn't really know any English.
I remember back then too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyways, he's doing good. We went and saw them. They got a cool gym. It's all like, there's this like Korean brand of equipment they have in there and this Japanese line that I've never seen before. They got some cool stuff, really interesting pieces. Yeah. So I had fun in there and trained with Iris.
No kidding.
Yeah. We trained back together. It was pretty funny.
How was that?
Well, it was cool. Like, you know, it wasn't like a full on workout. Like we did like 4 exercises and went pretty hard, but I was just kind of letting her show me how she does exercises. So like we did a few things that are like kind of unconventional, and you know, I was just letting her tell me what to do. You know, it's Iris Kyle. Like, you tell me what to do. Like I'll do whatever. I don't give a shit.
Right.
You know? So it was kind of funny, you know, and, but we had a great time and she was like super cool on camera. Like she was cracking jokes and she was laughing at my jokes. So then that put me at ease. And then like, it was just easy. Cause like, you know, some people I have to work. It's just like an interview, you know, sometimes you have to work to like, you know, prompt questions and answers and all that. But she was just like, you know, she just really natural on camera. Didn't give a fuck. Like it was
cool.
Easy. Yeah. So yeah, they had a cool little gym. They got like, you know, they got a posing room and everything. And like all the Mr. Olympias are on the wall and all the Miss Olympias are on the wall. And they have like another wall that's all the legends that like didn't quite win the O, you know, like all those people. And then they got a wall that's all Vegas pros. So if you live in Vegas and you're a pro, you get on that wall, you know, like it was cool. So I like seeing gyms that have bodybuilding, you know, front and center.
Yeah.
You know, like giving credit to bodybuilding for what you're standing in.
I feel like you get a lot of that in Vegas. Like sometimes I feel like you can be in other states and you go into a gym and you're like, oh, hey, there's a Gold's or something, but you go in and it doesn't really feel bodybuilder-esque. But any gym that I've gone into in Vegas, there's like some pro that trains there. You know what I mean? Some fitness person that's part of that gym, and they all kind of have that vibe, that energy. It's that energy.
I know. I know what you mean. It's cool.
I like it.
I always like, you know, remember the very first gym I trained in was one of those typical, like, you know, had the fake wood panel.
Yes.
Fucking like wall in the one room. You know what I mean? And, you know, all the little framed photos of all the local competitors, you know, in like those cheap frames, and none of the frames match and they're all like on the wall, you know, like that sort of shit. Like we had that in my gym. So anytime I see that sort of old school wall is pretty cool, you know, but it was, and you know, it's funny. You think, you know, going to Vegas, that was like my 31st time in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like some ridiculous number. And, the only thing I did other than shoot 2 episodes of Mutant on a Mission was I went to Top Golf.
Oh, no kidding. I've never done that before. What is that? I've heard of it. I don't know exactly.
Just a driving range, but it's like fun. You know, it's like a driving range and they serve food and booze and, you know, it's, you know, and they got all the games, like the balls have little trackers in them. So you smash the ball and then you can watch it on the screen and it shows exactly where you go. And he has a game set up. So you get points for where you know, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, there was 4 of us playing Top Golf. So you're kind of like, you know, it's like a little friendly game. You're trying to score points, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but it was a lot of fun. Cause I mean, I haven't swung a golf club in like 30 years, right?
That's cool.
So 20 years, I'd say 20 years.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. But that's my level of misbehavior now.
They have the like the automatic machine guns that you can shoot there. Have you ever seen that? You see people like,
Battlefield.
Yeah. I'd like to do that, but I don't know if I could justify the amount of money that you're squeezing out of that trigger, like just in a second. It's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what bullets actually cost.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you'd be like doing the math on what cost is.
Yeah.
But they got to make that Vegas profit, right?
Yeah. Figure this: $15 to fill this. and it would take
right. And what would they charge?
Oh, I don't even know, man. But probably, I'll tell you what. So at the range,
how many rounds?
30. So they're about
30.
50 cents a piece. So they probably would charge close to, I'm going to guess close to double that. It's just a guess, but they'd probably be a lot more,
I think it's probably 10 times that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's expensive. Because when I went, I got to shoot, I think it was like 5 different guns.
Oh, you did it?
I chose. Yeah. Yeah. We all went for a stag party.
Okay.
And, so I picked, I can't remember the package. It was like modern or 20th century military package. I can't remember what I picked, but it had a German Sten gun.
Yes.
With like the clip in the side.
Yeah.
Had a German Sten gun. It had, which is essentially a Tommy gun later.
Yeah.
And then it had an AK-47. I had a Sig Sauer pistol. I had an Uzi, an Israeli Uzi.
Okay.
And I had like a World War II rifle.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. So,
probably like an
that was
M1
pretty fucking
Grand.
fun.
Probably like an M1 Grand, like the big long wooden deal.
Yeah. Had like a rifle. Anyways, it was a fucking blast. And then you can pick like, there's like a, SWAT one that's like kind of all the weapons a SWAT team would use. And then there's like, like a semi-auto or a fully automatic shotgun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like a World War II package. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's all sorts of different stuff. The Vietnam War, it's all AKs and M16s and different, 45 Colt 45 sidearms and, like that sort of shit. Right. So it's pretty cool.
So out of the guns you got to shoot, which one was your favorite? Like, which one did you think was the coolest to shoot?
Well, they were all super cool, but the Uzi was awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It would be like an Uzi.
Plus, the Uzi didn't really have a ton of kick. It felt real easy to use.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was like the AK had like kick.
Right.
Especially on like fully automatic.
Yeah.
Fuck. So, but I'd say the SIG handgun was my favorite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because the handgun is kind of like, I really like handguns. They're cool.
Huh.
But I thought I told you this story about how I had like the tightest group.
You did tell me that, but I didn't realize it was there. That's right.
Yeah. I did good. I was like, oh, the farm kid can still shoot.
Yeah. Because you didn't tell the audience though. I think it was off the air.
Oh, I might have.
That you basically, that the guy who worked there recognized that Ron was a natural. He was like, "Oh, you've got some experience, but like you hadn't shot for years."
He asked me, he's like, he pulled my thing and he goes, "Do you shoot a lot?" And I was like, "No, I haven't shot in like, fucking ages." Yeah. And he just was like, "Oh, it's like my best grouping of the day."
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he like held it up and he like even said it to the boys, so it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
But I probably wouldn't be able to compete with you. You'd be fucking bundling everything.
It depends on the day, man. I did maybe buy something today. I can't show it to you yet because it's still in the mail, but I'll show you next week. It should be here.
You can't show it to us?
It's in the mail. It's on the way right now.
Okay. Well, I got some questions if you want to do some questions.
Cool.
Okay. I got a question. What's worse, not picking up after your dog or not putting your weights away?
Ooh.
What's more of a societal violation?
Is it? I a qualifier. Is it your own yard and is it your own home gym? Because it's winter right now. Okay. I don't pick up after my dog in the backyard. And you can ask Victoria, sometimes I'm not, like my last set, I might not put the dumbbells away. And she gets, usually they just sit there until I train again and then I put them up. But now that she's here, she's like, well, who left the 50s out?
So let's assume that it's not your own environment. Let's assume that it's a public shared environment that they're talking about. That'll be the...
I would say what's worse is not picking up after your dog. What do you think?
Well, I thought about this one.
Yeah.
I thought about this one.
Put some thought into this.
So here's my thinking. There are times when not picking up after your dog is acceptable. So those times would be, for example, your dog has like a runny diarrhea poop.
True. There's nothing.
You can't pick it. So you just go, oh, and you can, pour some Diet Coke on there to help it kind of get into the grass or something. But for the most part, you're not picking it up. So so that's an exception to the rule. The second exception would be if your dog goes under a tree, and which my dog sometimes does.
Oh, you mean like a bush type thing?
Yeah, there's no way I can get under there. And he'll go under there and squat down and fucking drop a deuce there, which I fucking love because there's nothing I can do about it. So I don't pick it up.
Yeah.
Well, third exception is kind of like the other one where he's under the tree, but he's just like he's off the path in the bush.
Yes.
You can't, I'm not going to go in there and get his shit.
Yeah, no. So I'll be completely honest with you. If I'm walking Betsy in the woods and she goes off the trail, I feel like all the other animals are pooping in the woods. So,
well, yeah, there's like coyotes all over there.
Yeah. So there's that.
So here's the reasoning. So there's three exceptions or two exceptions. I guess the two are kind of the same.
Yeah.
To not picking up after your dog. But there are no excuses for not putting your weights away. Like you would have to have a medical emergency or a bathroom emergency.
Yeah.
I guess. So I don't know. I think the putting the weights away is the more constant
injury. Yeah.
You'd have to
if you
see less exception there. There's less wiggle room with the weights, buddy.
There was a guy at the powerhouse I used to train at. I didn't see this happen, but somebody actually saw it going down. So he shot a video and then he sent it to me later. This kid was using the hammer strength leg press, the one that you can just load up, it has like two arms on each side. And he was not a big kid at all, big guy at all. He loaded the entire thing up, like all the plates. So that would be, 10, 20, at least 20 plates, if not more. And he unracked it.
Like 16 a side, I bet.
Yeah, at least.
It's 32 plates.
Well, it had two arms, so it would have to be like 20 per, 10
per
20.
Side.
Yeah, 20 per side. So that's ridiculous
crazy.
weight, I mean, like maybe Dusty, but anybody else, no. He unracked it and it literally came down just instantly. Like it's like his legs weren't even holding it. It just boom came down, and it came down so hard that it literally threw him out of the leg press. Like it came down on him and he popped out the side of the leg press and then just passed out. And he had to go to the hospital, as you could probably guess, broke his legs. I don't know exactly what the damage was, but he had to be carried out on a stretcher, and the stops at the bottom were bent. Like they had the machine was out of service. They had to put the yellow tape on it and say, under work or whatever, you can't use this right now. He
really
gets a pass.
I forgot what we were even talking about. I was so sidelined with this story. I forgot that there was weights that had to be put away.
Yeah. A lot of them. A lot of
plates.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
People don't do that at your gym, do they?
Well, no. I mean, fuck.
I mean, dumb stuff like that.
Fingers. Well, I mean, I'm not there every minute of the day.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I had a video sent to me of a guy a while ago that I had to talk to. I haven't gotten another complaint, so I assume he stopped. But he was leg pressing and he was getting a lot of depth, but the problem was that he was like slamming into the stopper.
Okay.
So he was like dropping it and it would just slam into the stoppers. And he was pretty deep in a leg press at that point, but obviously he had it set just right.
Yeah.
And then he would power it up, right?
Yeah.
So he was training hard, but it was like, you don't drop it like that. Fucking you could see the whole leg press was like bang, bang, bang in the video. And I was like, I got to talk to that dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
So there's the odd time you get someone who just does something and you're like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
But that happens.
We had a lot of those guys at this particular gym that would, the same guys that would do like 6 plates on like per side on the shrugs, you know, and then just like little tiny, you know, little tiny reps. So,
right. What do you call them? Scapular wiggles?
yeah. 10 scapular wiggles.
I don't know what they're fucking doing. I know. Shrugs are one of the funniest things.
You know what? John Meadows had a really good shrug that I've used where, and you never think about it because it's the shortest range of motion, but if you think about it, you can still control that negative. So he would tell you to like bring them up, basically try to touch your traps to your earlobes, and then do like a real slow negative down. Get down to that bottom and then squeeze it up hard. Basically try to touch your earlobes and then get that really. And if you do that, man, like for me, like 90-pound dumbbells is plenty of weight to do like 10 reps of that, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember like, I remember the goal was always to like do shrugs with the 150s.
Yeah.
Because in the Blood and Guts video, Yates grabs the 150s, I think, or the 160s, and he's doing shrugs with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what everyone wanted to do. And we used to do our shrugs like how he does them. If you watch the Blood and Guts video, he's kind of like the elbows are bending a little bit.
Okay.
It's almost like he's driving his elbows up behind him a little bit. So it kind of almost looks like a 5-degree row.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. You know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, you got to pull it behind the head. That's the trick.
Yeah.
You know, I remember doing all those heavy shrugs. Did you see the boat neck shirt picture of Dennis James I posted?
No. Did you put it on
my Instagram?
Is it on your story? Is it on there right now?
I tagged you in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I hadn't been on Instagram yet today.
Oh, yeah. It's still up.
All right.
Pretty sure I tagged you in it. Yep.
I'm going to go through all your stories here. Hold on a second.
That's funny that Scott hasn't been on Instagram yet.
No, you know what, man? I get too wrapped up. Like once I get on Instagram.
See, look at this one. Look back. Did you see that one? Go back.
What's that?
See the advice I gave? Stocking up your girlfriend. Somebody got the advice and stocked up their girlfriend.
It's a good move.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Next
oh
one.
yeah, dude, that's the look right there.
How's that?
Yeah, that's a look right there, man.
Go back. Gotta hold that one. Go
Hold
back.
on a second. There we go.
The king of the boat neck with stringer.
When are you going to bring that back, Ron?
Well, I can't fill it out like that.
You got to start hitting the traps again.
Gone. Just doing nothing but shrugs and upper chest.
Yeah, that's all you need. It'll look good on the podcast too. You know what I mean? Because that's what people mainly see.
That's all. Yeah,
you know?
That's all anyone cares about.
Yeah. I like that.
There you go. It's like the people that wear a shirt and tie and then they're like underwear to the Zoom meetings.
Oh yeah, you don't want to see me from the waist down right now. You just.
Okay, so what's going on? What's going on?
I know we're a couple weeks from the Arnold now, and I'm sadly not going to make it. This is the first time I'm not going to make it in a while. And you said that it was that Andrew Jacked. He's going to be at the amateur for the Arnold.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
So I'm going to miss that. I'm kind of bummed, but I'm getting married like literally 2 days before that. So yeah. I can't do it. So we're doing wedding stuff, unfortunately. I mean, it's great. It's great. It's a good reason, but I want to be there too to see Brett. Brett's looking awesome, man.
Yes. So what's the date of the wedding?
February 28th.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
You know, February wedding. That's a good day to have it.
I think so. I feel like, and it's a Monday, so it's going to be pretty chill everywhere. You know, the traffic will be, I don't know. It's going to be fun. We're keeping it small. It's just going to be literally with her and I, and then her dad, 2 sisters, my mom and my dad, and possibly my sister. And that's it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting married. It's like a little greenhouse, and then we're going out to eat after that. And then we're getting a nice hotel to stay at, so that'll be fun.
Sounds great. I've been to some giant ones.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, I'm like, how is this worth all this money?
Yeah, right?
How is this? I don't quite get it. Yeah, I always see like another property in there somewhere.
You know, I do too, and I feel like they jack the prices up on stuff once they know it's a wedding. Like if you're like, hey, I'd like to rent this room, and they're like, okay, you know, if you say I'd like to rent this room for a wedding, then they're like, oh, okay, we'll give you the wedding prices, you know?
Right, the tourist rate.
Yeah, exactly.
No. And then I was getting to the part where you look around the room and you go, I don't even like any of these people.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I don't want these people here. You're doing a good job. I'm excited to see that you're going to live stream it, right?
Yeah, she already said no to that.
Did you have was there some sort of subscription thing set up?
Yeah, with glasses cam. I'll be like, yeah.
Okay.
No, not going to happen, unfortunately.
Okay. I got another question here.
Cool. Did you put a question box up, or what did you do today?
No, I had a bunch of extra ones that I was saved from last time because we didn't get...
we could have done this live on Facebook even, and we could have taken questions from there.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, if you wanted to, I could switch it.
Oh, we could do that.
Do you want to? I mean, we don't have to.
We just hit a button and it just goes.
You'd have to just call right back, but because I don't think I can switch this. I can't switch the stream while we're recording.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, call back and just give me literally 1 minute.
Yeah.
You can support our programming by shopping with TrueNutrition.com. They're our title sponsor. They've supported us for a number of years. They have awesome health and performance supplements. You can ask Skip or Dusty or Scott Stevenson all about True Nutrition, and they'll tell you how good of a company they are. Hardcore bodybuilders have trusted them for over 15 years now. Use our code THINK. You'll get some savings. You'll support our programming. If you're in Canada, you can shop with supplementsource.ca. They have highly discounted supplements, discounts on bulk orders, and free shipping over $99. Check them out. And finally, you can directly support our programming on Patreon. I'll have links below for Patreon and everything else. We're taking more questions over there, and I appreciate everybody who's already helping to directly support our programming through our Patreon. All right, guys, thanks for hanging with me. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah, I want to get your take on this. This guy writes in, he says, I hear you guys talk about music all the time, and you mention Metallica a lot, but I never hear you mention Megadeath. What's your position on Megadeth? Were you ever into them, Scott?
Personally, no. Flat out. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a Megadeth fan.
Okay.
I mean, they had their moment for me, but I think I'm not metal enough. I know, like, my friend VJ, huge Megadeth fan. I feel like I'm trying to guess if you're a Megadeth fan. I'm going to say yes.
Well, I don't want to say I'm like not a fan.
Yeah.
But I never really I never bought a Megadeth album.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of Megadeth songs where if they come on, I'm like, oh fuck, cool. I haven't heard this song in a while.
Yeah, they had some good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had some good songs.
Yeah. You know, they had some great stuff. You know. So yeah, I guess I'm a fan, but I'm not like a Megadeth fan. I've seen them live because I've seen concerts where they were in the lineup.
Yeah.
You know? So I think I saw a Motorhead and Megadeth together.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. But I that was just really cool to see them both, but I didn't go to see Megadeth.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way I feel like I've been around Megadeth, is kind of like because they were related to another band that I liked, kind of thing, you know?
Right. Yeah. So I think he's really sick right now, actually. Isn't Dave Mustaine really sick?
Really?
He has yeah, I think he has cancer right now.
Huh.
So everyone's hoping for him. A lot of people don't realize, but he was a founding member, like one of the original members of Metallica.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. So he was the guitar player for Metallica, right up until they recorded the first album, and they kicked him out of the band right before they recorded the album.
Huh? Did they say why?
Yeah, it was like drinking, I think, at the time.
Oh, okay.
And they got Kurt Hammett in.
Yeah.
To play lead guitar, and then they blew up. Boom.
Yeah.
Right, and they were like, and he went and started Megadeth. So, yeah.
Got a few people hanging with us here. Lucas is with us from Poland. Shout out to him.
Hey.
Andrew's with it. He asks, "Where's Dusty?"
Dusty's just in another coma for a little while, but he'll be okay.
He'll be back.
He said he's only going to go for 5 days.
Scott Stevenson's
Yeah,
with us.
Scott's right. They fired him for I think it was for drinking too much, and that was like in like the early '80s. So that tells you a lot.
Hey, you had to drink a lot in the early '80s to get fired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it had to be like a fuck up, you know.
Yeah, it had to be a real problem back then.
Especially because he was incredibly good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Whenever somebody who's amazing gets fired from their job, you're like, oh, there's something going on.
yeah, it had to be real bad.
So we got to talk about Super Bowl.
Okay, yes, if we must. I don't follow football. I'll be honest. I discovered it was the Super Bowl like on Sunday, maybe Saturday night. Like I seriously, it took that. Victoria and I, could you imagine, Victoria Felker, you don't think like big Super Bowl fan, you know what I mean? So
Right.
We don't do a lot of Super Bowl around here, but I know that you love sports. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate championship games a lot. You know what I mean? Like even if I'm not a huge fan of the sport, if the finals is on,
Yeah.
I'll like watch it. So, you know, I didn't watch like any regular season NFL games at all.
Okay.
But then when the playoffs came, I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And it's been unbelievable. Like the level of football this year in the playoffs has been just mind boggling. There's people that are saying it's like the best playoffs ever.
No kidding.
Like, yeah, just like so many overtime games and like wins on the last play of the game. Like
no kidding.
Just stuff like that. Come from behind wins, all that stuff. And then the Super Bowl was like an awesome close game right down to the last, like within the last minute.
Okay, you're informing me right now. I didn't know that, but that's freaking badass, man. So
because
you gotta tell me who won. I don't even know.
Yeah, so the LA Rams won. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
But it was because one of the things with the Super Bowl is that sometimes it's a blowout and it's always a disappointment, But by halftime you're like, oh, the Patriots have this one,
right?
Or whatever the fuck. So when you get one of those like nail biters and the whole game matters, it's just a lot more enjoyable. So it was a great game, And then also I had a great time watching it because I didn't really care who won. I didn't have a team, so I was just enjoying how good the football was, So it was a good one.
I'm with Paige. She says, Super Bowl. She says those knee injuries make me cringe. Can't be that risky when leg days matter.
Yeah, the one player had like a knee injury yesterday.
Oh, really?
Probably blew his ACL.
Okay.
So when they're just running and they take like a little bit of a stutter step and all of a sudden they just collapse.
Yeah.
And they didn't really look like he did anything, but it was, he's done for the day. So, and then there's someone here's asking about the halftime show.
Yeah.
Do you know all about the halftime show, Scott? Are you aware of what happened?
No, but I know that there was like a bunch of musicians.
Man,
that's it. This is how much I pay attention to stuff, man.
See, there's all these funny memes today that are just killing me on Instagram. So it was a tribute to old school hip hop.
Oh, okay.
So, but they didn't exactly go old school like 80s and 90s. They went back to like 2000.
It would be awesome if they had like NWA up there. They're like,
right. Well, they mentioned them. And they have Dr. Dre. So it was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, who I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And then Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
And they did like this big hip hop like blend thing with all of them singing, right?
Yeah.
And it was really well done. Like it was as far as halftime shows go. I mean, it's, what do you do? But it was well done. And I thought they did a good job. It's I'm not sure how much. I know they had like backing vocals cranked in on all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how much real singing was done by some of them. There was parts where it was clearly real rapping. Like I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg's entire part was fine.
Okay.
But I think Mary J. Blige was lip syncing. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Peter says they would have probably done 90s rap, but the entire rap era is either dead or in jail.
That's pretty fucking true. Oh yeah. And then 50 Cent was a little bit softer than we remember him. So they're saying all the memes are like 50 Cent. Due to inflation, 50 Cent is now a full dollar.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, 50 Cent. They had him hanging upside down too. So when he first came on camera, his face was like super swollen because he was hanging upside down. It was just so fucking funny. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah. No, I missed all of that. I didn't see any of it. I did, however, get to go to the grocery store during the Super Bowl yesterday, and it was empty. It was really nice. I appreciated that.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. The gym was pretty quiet yesterday too, so.
What's if I don't want to get all political here, but what's going on up there with like the border stuff and the trucks and all of that right now? Because it's and I know I don't want to get you heated because I know that it's but I don't think we're getting the full story, and I don't trust the news that I am here seeing.
Well, I'm not sure I'm in a position to give actual news on anything either.
Yeah.
I know apparently they've got the borders opened up enough now that traffic is flowing.
Okay.
And I know that they did arrest some people.
Oh.
I'm not totally sure at what crossing.
Yeah.
They're threatening, blah, 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 lots of stuff and trying to shut it down. So We'll see what happens, So I don't know. I don't watch the mainstream news. I try to avoid that. Sometimes I'll just watch a clip just to see what the mainstream news is saying.
Yeah.
But, and then I kind of watch like a little bit of an assortment of YouTube news to try to not just kind of feel around a little bit, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on,
Okay. I figured I'd ask because you had a little bit more of the inside, and like everybody from Victoria's family is driving here, or well, not everybody, but people are driving here next in the next couple of weeks. So,
right. Well, it looks like they're going to have the border open, I guess. I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
Because all I know is that it's there's auto manufacturing plants that are going to shut down because they don't have any parts.
Oh yeah.
So now it's starting to the border shutdown starting to affect major industry.
Yeah.
Right. So now there's a bunch of panic about it, and that's why they're going to force the issue with the police arresting people and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. Huh. It's funny. My attitude now is I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's so sure of exactly what's going on, but I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not there at the border.
Well, we have a dozen people hanging with us here this Monday afternoon. I am going to ask you, comment something like a question, a topic, anything you guys want to hang out and talk about. Let us know, and we shall tackle that because we're pretty much unprepared for this. Ron's got a handful of questions from previous shows that you had saved that we didn't use, right? Yeah. But anything you guys, want to talk about, throw it up and we'll tackle it. So maybe if you have one more, Ron, they can start posting stuff and then we could get to that as they post them.
Here, I got a question for you, and I'm going to ask you because I think you're probably far more of an expert than I am on it from all your podcasting. What's the final word currently on injectable L-carnitine?
Huh. Dude, we've been doing a bunch of podcasts about it. In fact,
what's the current?
Scott Stevenson went really deep on this one. He spent I'm going to say a good 6 weeks, heavily investigating L-carnitine. And he said, so here's the thing, that there is no black and white answer, but get this, Ron. So they found that if your thyroid is too high, okay, if you have hyperthyroid, if you're in thyroid storm, that they can give you L-carnitine at I believe it was 2,000 milligrams orally will bring that hyperthyroid down. Now, if you have hypothyroid and your thyroid is low, they can give you 2,000 milligrams and it'll bring your thyroid up. So it's kind of a weird thing. It
almost acts like a thyroid regulator.
Yeah, and well, I guess what it is I shouldn't say it makes it more effective or less effective, because here's the thing is that it doesn't actually change the numbers. It changes your sensitivity to thyroid hormone. So you can't take a shot of L-carnitine and then check your levels for thyroid because they won't change, but your body's sensitivity to your thyroid will change. So I think if there was a final word, at least from what I'm gathering from it, I would say that you don't want to take too much, that too much could be a problem. But for me, probably about like 400 milligrams injected to load, followed by 200 to 300 milligrams to sustain. That's what I'm seeing personally. That's what I'm actually doing right now. And I'm using it
daily?
I'm using it for brain fog almost daily. Like I'll forget sometimes, but I'm using it for brain fog, and I'm taking it with during training for training too. So I'm getting a good effect from it at that dose.
So you take it an hour before you train?
Yep, I take it an hour before I train with insulin and with carbs.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Where was it again? Oh yeah, here's one. So sissy squats or leg press, what is the better exercise for quad development? So this is actually a good question, because what the answer I want to give here applies to everything. You if you're limited, obviously, the more limited you are, the more you have to focus on it. But you want to choose exercises that are efficient. Now, there's lots of great exercises that, put tension on a muscle or isolate a muscle.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I think you want to choose exercises where you can really load the target muscle and be stable. And a leg press is fantastic for that.
Yeah.
Most people don't go deep enough on a leg press, and they put their feet in the wrong spot, and they ego lift and stuff like that. So that's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about leg pressing. But a leg press is a great exercise because you can be very stable, which enables you to focus on loading, and you can move your feet around and do a bunch of different things. So that would be the choice. A sissy squat, you can only load a sissy squat so much. What are you going to hold? How many plates are you going to hold on your chest doing a sissy squat?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my, I've never seen a guy that had Tom Platt's legs and all he did was sissy squats, but I've seen lots of guys with crazy legs and they, did a million sets of leg press.
What do you mean when you said you can a lot of guys put their feet in the wrong place?
Well, like you see the guys where their foot's halfway off the top of the platform.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got the back up all the way. So they really have no knee flexion going on. It's all hip flexion. They're almost folding in half and
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not leg pressing, but you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
The more knee flexion, not the more the better, because there's a point where it gets dangerous and unstable. So yeah, also have to be careful with that. But yeah, generally you want to pick exercises that you can load with, You need to be able to put some fucking weight on the body to get it to change.
Alfonso he has his own home gym, the guy who asked this question. And
right.
He was asking previously, should I get a leg press or is a leg press an obsolete? Like, do you not need a leg press for training?
Right. Well, depends on what else you have.
Yeah.
If he's got a squat rack and a hack squat, he might not need a leg press.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was one more here. Oh yeah. So Nate Spear.
Yeah.
Nate Spear's watching. That's awesome. So thoughts on NEAT and steps versus cardio, our goal.
He said, he said, sorry, I hit that too early. Okay. Yeah. You saw the next one too.
Evidence-based guys seem to be really big on tracking steps. So, tracking steps is totally valid and completely makes sense. So I look at cardio this way, and this is I try to simplify everything for my monkey brain. But I look at cardio this way. You either want to do really hard hit cardio and blast the body hard for a long carryover. You get that 30-hour calorie burn, right? Or you want to do super ridiculously easy cardio that is basically just steps. You're just burning calories, burning fat, just doing steps, moving, but it's not intense enough to cause an adaptation. That's why moderate intensity cardio is, I think, the worst thing you can do for slowing the metabolism down, because the moderate intensity cardio is where your body adapts to the cardio the most. That's what I've always put together from everything. So, like Meadows used to say, you either want your cardio to be really easy or really hard.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be in the middle. So the easy cardio is essentially just steps.
Pretty much.
So if you work in an office and you don't really do much all day, then doing that type of cardio completely makes sense. You're getting your steps in. But if you like, say you work in like a warehouse and you get 15,000 steps every day, then do you need to do 20 minutes on the treadmill getting more steps? So I think that is completely logical. And I do that all the time with people. I ask them, do you track your steps? What do you do for a living? And that's where we start. If the guy's like, oh, I walk 12,000 steps a day, then I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to start with any cardio. We're just going to start dieting and see what happens. So, I sort of do that with people. So yeah, I agree.
I could see that. Yeah. I used to do let me ask you this. What do you think about fasted cardio though? Do you feel like that's more effective than any other time of day, just in your experience?
No, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
But some people prefer.
Yeah.
Like my main thing is like some people like to get up in the morning and they like to do their cardio and get it done. And it's like this massive feeling of accomplishment and this positive mental thing that they do.
Yeah.
And I never try to get in the way of that, because I'm all about like, that sort of shit.
I like that.
Want to do it.
I like that. I like the way it gets your day set. And then I feel like it gets my metabolism set, and then I'm hungry, and then it's a good start. It's a good way to start.
Yeah, BioLane had a post about this the other day that I loved, and it said all the data shows that fasted cardio, you burn more fat while you're doing it, but then you actually burn less fat for the rest of the day.
No kidding.
Fed cardio, you burn less fat while you're doing it, but you burn more fat at rest.
Huh.
And it all comes down to calories in, calories out anyways.
Yeah.
So he was just like, at the end of the day, do it when you want to do it. And then he was very clear to say, I'm not saying not to do fasted cardio. I'm just saying it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just like to keep things super simple. Yeah. I just tell people, do your cardio when you like to do it. I did a lot of mine at night. So I don't want to be a hypocrite and force people to get up and do it in the morning.
Yeah.
No.
Here's another one. What type of headphones do you prefer for the gym? He says new trend is the in-ear wireless buds, but I like the big over-ear ones like Scott's wearing now. Keeps people from It does keep people from talking to you when you have these on. Like, people are like, oh, I can't bother him right now.
Right. So I don't like wireless buds because I like a cord on my headphones.
Old school.
Because they fall out all the time when you're doing stuff. They never don't always stay in there. I know that if they were wireless, I would lose them and drop them on the floor. I don't want my headphones to ever touch the floor. So on a cord, they're right there. I love having the cord on them. I don't really want to go to wireless at all. And the over ear ones, the big ones, those kind of came back through fashion a couple times.
Yeah.
Like there was a time a long time ago, there were these skull candy ones,
Oh yeah.
And I had a couple over ear ones, but whenever I was still really big back then. So whenever I would do like lat pull downs, my shoulders would push them right off my ears. You know what I mean? Like my arms would come up and my shoulders would just push them off my ears. So I couldn't even wear them on back day. It was like so stupid.
Yeah.
They were like good for legs and that was it.
I can't put my head in the hack squat with these. Because when I'm done, I go to like slide out. Because you're not going to like just stand up. Yeah. When you're done with a good set of hack squats, you just like slide out to the floor and you're done. You can't do that. It pulls them right off your head.
No, I know. There's a bunch of logistic issues.
Yes.
The big ones. I wore them for a while, but when you're doing barbell rows and they fall off your head and they're swinging around and you're just smashing them with the bar because you don't want to stop your set. Just keep rowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do the same thing, man. I like the cords. I would totally lose one of those little in-ear wireless buds. Somebody just mentioned that to me the other day. They're like on a post that I did. I had the cable, the cord, like you, and I feel the exact same way. But I was told in this post, dude, you need to get some wireless. And I'm thinking, dude, man, I would lose them.
I see people all the time. I was just walking the other day and this girl's doing leg curls and her earbuds laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Like it fell out of her ear while she's doing leg curls and it's laying on the floor. And I just remember thinking, like, I can't live like that.
What would you do if that happened? Would you sanitize that before you put it back in your ear? Yeah.
I would go over to the little foam thing that we have, and I'd put some foam in my hand, and I'd wipe it all over the fucking earbud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So I saw a picture that Dusty posted, and he had his gym bag on the floor, and next to his gym bag, his phone was on the floor, but it was sitting up like this.
Right.
Is that acceptable?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not like not willing to live on the edge. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, you know, I mean, I laid on the floor at Flex's gym to do cable curls with him.
Yeah.
And, you know, at first I thought this is a cruel joke, but then, you know, I realized there was work to do. So like a mechanic, I laid down on my back and I cranked out a couple sets of cable curls, you know, and I just thought I felt really blue collar about it.
Yeah.
It was good. You know,
sometimes you got
like I was working on heavy machinery, you know.
Ooh, we got another one from Nate. Ron's top 3 biggest mindfuck movies.
Man, I do appreciate a mindfuck movie a lot. Pretty cool. Top of my head. Shutter Island.
I didn't see it. Oh, that good, huh?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, and then I got to ask you a question. Awesome. I can't wait. I got to ask you right now. Did you continue watching Ozark?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
How far are you now? You're all caught up?
Yeah, I'm all caught up. Are you all caught up?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was, that actress who plays Ruth was awesome in that episode, wasn't she?
She's my favorite, dude. She's my favorite in that whole show. Like, just her character is the dynamics of her. Sometimes she's like this. If you remember back when the show started, she was like terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And she still can be that. And sometimes she's like this adult who's got it all together. And other times she's like a little kid, you know, she's like a child basically. And there's really not much in between.
Right. I love that scene where she's yelling at them.
Yeah.
If
that rage.
You're going to have to fucking kill me. Yeah, that part was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Victoria had a hard time like getting through that. She was like, how much is left? Because it's she doesn't like getting so amped up at nighttime. You know what I mean? And like I got amped like watching that. You can't not get amped watching that.
Let's see here. Yeah, that was fucking nuts. Okay, I was trying to find Shutter Island so I could tell you something about it.
I've heard of it before.
Yeah, you got to hear. Yeah, Shutter Island, 2010. I just couldn't remember the year.
Okay.
Just couldn't remember the year, but it's DiCaprio, right? So Leonardo DiCaprio. So you got to watch Shutter Island.
Huh. Yeah.
So that's a good one. And the only reason I say that one is because I was just talking about it the other day. But that's a good mindfuck movie. I don't know who hasn't seen Seven.
Yeah, I saw that at the theater.
As far as like throwing in kind of like, you know, a more of a dark thriller type of a movie, but that's a pretty good head fuck. And then another one that I really liked, if you haven't seen it, have you seen Oblivion?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Tom Cruise movie. It's awesome.
Okay.
But you got to watch Oblivion. It's extremely well done. Yeah, pull that up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So there's 3 good ones I'll just throw out that were all like, you know, really good kind of twist endings.
Not
You're gonna watch.
What's that?
You got to watch all 3 of those now.
I can't remember the last time I watched an actual movie. Like we'll watch like little TV. That's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. What else we got?
Anybody else got questions here on the? Got a lot of people chiming in. American Psycho.
Oh yeah, well that's awesome with Bale. The Fountain. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, another Metro Detroiter here. Shout out to you, Troy.
Here, I'll throw an honorable mention headfuck movie.
Yeah.
It's called The Invitation.
Okay.
So very good. Very good.
That's from Ron to you guys. You guys can go
It's
check
one of those,
that out.
yeah. It's one of those movies where the whole movie, you're wondering, does this go where they're leading us to think it's going to go?
Yeah.
And you're just not sure. And then there's like a real crank at the end that throws you. So it's good.
Huh. Did anybody ask you any training questions, anything like that in your list?
Yeah, I did have some training. Did you have a YouTube one?
I don't have. I wasn't prepared for this.
Here's one.
I thought we were just getting. I didn't know what we're doing. I just showed up.
I got us.
I played Dusty. I played the role of Dusty here. I just showed up.
Here, help me out here. Help me out here. Quick tips. I need to become better at pressing. I feel like I'm disproportionately weak at pressing.
I feel like a lot of people are that way.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way because they see some guys on Instagram that are disproportionately incredible at pressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
it's easy to feel inferior when you have Instagram.
I know. What a great way to make us feel like we're, what a piece of shit I am.
I've told this story on the show, but I will tell it again that I wanted to get really strong on pressing because I wasn't strong on it. And when I posted a video training in your gym, actually, Ron, I was pushing up the 110-pound dumbbells. Big Dave Smith was like, "Oh, that's really nice. Are you working on your lockout?" Because I wasn't coming down all the way.
Right.
But so I would say the big thing I learned was in order to be strong, I needed to rebuild my technique. And to rebuild my technique, I had to lighten the weight up, and I learned to bring the dumbbells or the bar lower. And I always thought I couldn't do that because I thought I would hurt my shoulder. But in reality, it's all pec when you're down at the bottom, but you have to be careful with it. And as you press up, it's a matter of just, I think, retooling your form. A lot of people are just like living in that top 2/3 of the motion, and you're not going to get where you want to be that way.
No, I agree. Just rebuild your press first of all. If you think you're disproportionately weak on pressing, then maybe the problem is the way you're pressing, and you don't actually press properly.
Yeah.
Rebuild your press, get your depth in there. Change that. Maybe your arms are angled all the way out and, your shoulders are in a mechanically really unfavorable position. Maybe your elbows are all the way to your sides and you're like basically just tricep pressing it. And that's why you're not as strong. Yeah. There's, you got to find those happy mediums. But yeah, I kind of know how you feel. I was never like a rep 4 plates guy. You know what I mean? You get those guys at the gym and they just rep 4 plates and you're just like,
yeah. They make it look easy.
Yeah. Saw a guy on Instagram bench 5 plates for 8 reps the other day. Just doing his thing. It's just chest day. Just do 5 plates. After this, I'll do,
eat some Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's cool.
Eat some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Just relax. It's no big deal.
Maybe have a few beers.
Yeah. Ripped freaking crazy abs. I think your technique too, like the way you set up, I make sure that my feet are planted, my ass is planted, and my traps are planted. And I don't do like a crazy powerlifting arch, but I make sure that I'm lifting my chest too. I think like that,
right.
and that goes back to that foundational stuff. Like get back to that foundation. You're not going to, the hardest part for me, Ron, was actually lightening the weight. And it didn't happen until the pandemic hit. And I only had like 50-pound dumbbells at the house. And I was like, well, I guess it's time.
Sets of 40.
Yeah, for real,
Yeah.
That's what it took.
Let's see. Oh, I hate that question. I can't do that question. The odd time you get a good question.
Yeah.
But it's just too personal. You don't want to talk about it.
Now everybody wants to know.
I'm just kidding. So here's one. I like this one. Old dude, 46. Hey, watch it. That hasn't competed in 15 years. So I guess he's 31 at his last show. 5'10", 185. classic or open. So my response is, well, if you're 46 and you're going to compete, then I would try to do it on nothing but TRT. So therefore, you know, at 5'10", you're probably not going to get a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll probably wind up being able to do both if you want. And my answer would be, for most people, especially at level 1, or, you know, some places have the level 2 before nationals or whatever. But I would always say to do both categories in those shows. You want to get as much stage time and experience as you possibly can, you know, that sort of thing. So I would say, you know, my general answer would be, you're not going to be too big to do both, because you shouldn't be taking, like, it's not like you should hop on like 3 grams of shit and try to be 205 on stage. I don't know his history, but I would say, you know, keep it simple and just get in great shape and do as many categories as you can.
You say he's 5'10"?
5'10".
5'10" at 185, and he didn't say like anything about his current condition.
No, I don't know what that means. If that means that's what he thinks he'll be on stage, or I'm not sure what he's saying.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, even in respectfully, I mean, it could even be like, a lot of people don't like doing men's physique because they say, like, I want to pose, I want to be able to hit poses, but I mean, he could possibly even fit into that category at 5'10". It would be, it would definitely be a possibility, you know, because
it's hard to say without seeing his shape too.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk him out of, you know, classic or bodybuilding, but it could possibly be an option, and you wouldn't look crazy out of place, I bet. But yeah, it is hard to answer for sure.
You never know. Maybe he's a 185-pound version of Bumstead.
Yeah, maybe.
And he just looks nuts.
Comes in and cleans it up.
You know what I mean?
You already see like his cheekbones are in at 185 right now. He's ready to just go.
Yeah. I had a guy talk to me. I had a guy that just sent me pictures asking if I think he can do a show.
Okay.
And I thought he was trolling me because he's like 2 weeks out.
Oh.
You know those people that are so lean and they don't realize how lean they are?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. Like, hey man, like, how many weeks do you think I need to diet to get in really, really good stage shape? And I'm like, you're like fucking pretty ripped, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens sometimes. You know,
you going to the Toronto Pro?
I'm not sure this year.
Yeah.
It's not on the Mutant list. So I guess I got to check. I got to check and see if I have anyone doing it. I got people doing so many shows. I just remember their dates.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're July 17th, but I don't know the name of their show.
Right.
I just know they have to be ripped.
Right.
Yeah. So far I don't have it on my list.
Okay.
So, but we'll see what happens.
Troy, who is also from Metro Detroit, he says, what does he say here? Lower back always rounded, no matter how much I arch during deads, rows, etc. Any tips to help me get? I do get frequent lower back pain.
Well, he's got to get that form fixed, and you have to just go down and wait until you can fix it. It's a cue thing. You're mentally not cueing up your back properly. You know, it shouldn't be rounded. You just literally have to fix that.
Did you do a lot of deads in your bodybuilding?
Yeah, I didn't deadlift religiously, but they were an exercise. Deadlifts were an exercise that were used just like any other back exercise. They weren't special.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they'd be like the type of thing, like, you know, back in the day, you'd be like, hey, do you want to deadlift this Sunday when we train back? Like, yeah, let's do some deadlifts. So we throw them in like somewhere in the mix, but they weren't treated like a separate sport like they are now.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's exactly the way we used to look at them too. It is different. There are people, I've met guys, young guys who are like 20, 22, that are still new to bodybuilding, and they're phenomenal deadlifters because they are using that to grow a thick back. But what they really have is like a really dense posterior chain. And at the same time, they don't have much ability to row. because it's like what they haven't practiced it. You know what I mean? They've been using deads and hinge movements to grow their back.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's a separate skill now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some people can deadlift, but they can't curl a bar.
I blame Jordan. I think like everybody's seeing Jordan do like all his, hinge movements that he's so strong at. It's like, I want to be a bodybuilder. I'm going to have to do what that guy does. So then they see that stuff,
Well, there is a lot to be said about all those stiff leg deads and RDLs and deadlifts and, definitely something there. I would say with a question like that one we just had, he's just got to re-cue his form. He's got to film his form.
Yeah.
Like now we have all these cameras, right? So like you should be able to film check every set you do
easily,
So, and even if you have to go down to an empty bar to get your cue, where you keep your core tight and your back flat, and your pelvis tilted just enough so your back's all straight, he just has to reset.
Yeah.
So, take the weights off and just learn it again, because it's all just mentally firing stuff.
We get in this habit where we're like, well, I have to have weight on the bar because I want this exercise to at least still be effective while I'm training.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you can fix it, same with that bench press,
Also,
if you can
too,
fix it.
If you keep loading it, you just keep reinforcing your bad form.
Yes.
And it becomes a more ingrained habit.
Yeah.
Because habits that we practice become stronger habits. So that's why it's hard to like unlearn bad habits that you've had for 10 years,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what he's got to do. Get on it now. Oh, I love when it freezes right as my face is all fucked up.
It's done that a couple times. It's good. I'll use that for like the cover picture.
So do you think Dusty's out of his coma for next week?
You guys will have to tune in to find out. That's what's that's what's going to have to happen here. To be continued.
Yeah, we didn't want to. I didn't want to not do the show.
Yeah, if I would have thought about it, I didn't know what we're doing. I could have prepared something. As you guys can see, we went into this totally unprepared. I would have had I had the opportunity to talk to Ron Partlow, IFBB Pro. He's talked to literally every bodybuilder there is in the industry. And what did I bring to this? Nothing. I brought nothing.
No, you had some news about your wedding.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
And you
I had that.
And you showed me your 30 round magazine, but I'm not sure if it was on the air or not.
Well, it is now. It's on the air.
Go. It's a beautiful little thing. What does that weigh?
Ounces. This is plastic.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Can I ask you your opinion on something while I got you here still, Ron?
Okay, let's hear it.
This is also a story, and it kind of like Ron Partlow inspired. This happened to me in my life story. I'll tell it on the podcast. Okay.
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna do one of those things.
Okay.
Victoria and I were at the grocery store last week. Had all our stuff in the basket, including like home goods. Like we had a new shower curtain and some nicer items that were like up in the basket, and we both left the basket. They're in the frozen food section, and she's looking at these vegetables, and I'm
so you had a full cart.
Full cart. We call them baskets here. You guys call them carts, right?
So the basket's a little hand one you carry.
Yeah, that's a conversation that's happened several times in this household now.
Okay. Okay. I won't get you. Okay. Well, besides the point, I get it.
So, okay. So, Victoria, the next thing I know, I hear Victoria say, "Where's the?" I'll use the word. I don't want to confuse people in Canada. Where's the cart? And I turn around and I look. It's not there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go down the aisle, get down to the end of the aisle, and I look. And like then now I'm on a mission. And then I start I don't see it, and I don't see anybody. So then I start putting a little power to it. And I get a little ways, and I see this tall lady booking it with my cart. She's like hauling, and she's just about to turn the corner. And dude, I turned it up, right? Like I really turned it up. And I got up on still 6-7 feet. I was like, hey, excuse me. That's my cart. And she looks, and she was like, oh, she was like, I wasn't paying attention. And so I get the cart back, and She comes back and she had a cart not too far away, but hers wasn't like right by ours. It was like at the end of the aisle, and she had like 2 random items in it. Now, like I said, she was booking away from me, right? Now, when we're doing our thing, I'm watching her. She was no longer booking. She came back, got her basket or cart or whatever you want to call it, and then just kind of stood, moved 10 feet away, and then just kind of stood there and like got on her phone and was like kind of looking around. So she was no longer in a hurry to get where she was going previously. Why did she take our cart, Ron?
That's fucked up. Now, I have to clarify a few things.
Okay.
When you say she was booking it, did it look like she was going to the cash register to pay? Or
she's
like
going
she
the opposite direction.
Opposite direction.
She's going the opposite direction and getting ready to turn up an aisle. She cut over 3 aisles.
So
and
like
then was going to
continue shopping.
Well, or just move in a direction that was opposite of us.
Was there anything of yours personal in the cart, like a purse or a man bag?
No, there wasn't. But that's the first thing I thought. I was like, my phone's in my pocket. Victoria had her purse. But due to all the items that were like up in the top part of the cart, there very well could have been a purse in there that you couldn't see because there was all this other shit piled on it. See what I'm saying?
So one possibility is that she was going fishing for a cart that might have something in it.
Yeah.
And she was going to do a quick little lap with it and dig around in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And if she didn't find anything, just abandon it again.
Yeah.
That's one thing that she could have been doing.
She
was up to something, or there's drugs involved. Did she look like she could have been like
no
tripping out a little bit or anything
No.
like that? 'Cause sometimes you encounter a weird person and you think maybe they're out like tripping a little bit and they don't really know what they're doing.
We don't
I've
like.
had that.
I'm in the suburbs. I know in Vancouver, like you get some weird. We saw people in Vancouver that were going to get in a fist fight. A couple, these 2 ladies, and the one lady said to the other lady, "Well, at least I still have all my teeth." That was like as they were arguing. There was like those kinds of conversations. So I know what you mean. We don't get that quite as much here in the suburbs.
So yeah, because you think there's a possibility, because sometimes you can have like a suburban woman who looks normal. She's wearing normal clothes, like even nice shit, but she's off her meds, right? She's like talking to herself, mumbling, blah, 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 blah.
I didn't get the vibe. I didn't get the vibe.
You didn't get the 12 Monkeys vibe?
No 12 Monkeys vibe. But that was my story, and I needed your expert opinion on it. Is really what it came down to.
Yeah, there was some. She wanted to take that cart for a lap for some reason.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I reported her too after that.
Right.
I walked by her and I snapped a quick picture of her, and then the manager was like 30 feet away, and I was like, "Hey, you see this lady? Well, she just took our cart. Now she's just standing there."
Right.
Because I was afraid, like, I think that's what she was trying to do, was a busy grocery store. And that was my guess, is she was like trying to see that was there a purse sitting in there or something. But
maybe she was hoping for a cart with a baby in it.
Yeah. Oh, you pick up all those home goods and there's maybe somebody left a baby in that cart.
Oh God, we're going to get off the rails now. That's funny. Yeah, weird people up to weird shit. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, worst case, we just had to go. But dude, we went shopping it was one of those long trips too. Like to go back and replicate all those items would be very difficult.
You're so happy you got the cart back. Yeah. I know the feeling. Okay. Well, I'm gonna shoot, buddy.
All right.
I got some shit to do today, and got to double check on Dusty, make sure he's surviving. What he's up to.
He's all right, guys. I don't want you to really worry, because we did have people worry about him for a long time. So Dusty's okay.
Right. I think someone in Dusty's life is getting an upgrade.
Yes.
So Dusty's a little busy today. We'll leave our viewers' imaginations.
All right. Do we do that? Okay. It's just bodybuilding thing at the end of this? Or
yeah. Well, let's just say thanks for tuning into the live. We decided we actually did half an hour of episode, and then you were like, why don't we just go live?
Yeah.
So, okay. That was fun. Thanks for that, Scott. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you and everybody hanging out with us here. So
we got to get Dom Cardone on the show. And we'll have Dusty back next week's episode.
If we can get Dom on next week, that would be sweet. That would be cool.
Well, I'll call him and let him know. See what he's up
I'll
to.
be gone the following week. I'll be getting married on the day that we normally record. So
Okay.
So one day I can't
nobody
make it.
freak out. Scott's wedding episode. We won't be here.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Okay.